Hello everyone and welcome back to Long War 2 Season 1. A couple of FYI things here before we get started. I am now using version 1.3. I have migrated this 1.2 save over to 1.3. You will be able to do the same thing, or you should be able to do the same thing once 1.3 releases to the public. For point of reference, I'm recording this on May 6th, I believe, of 2017. And before we proceed, note a couple things. There's going to be, not bugs so much as just because I am not a super duper tech guy. I probably didn't follow the instructions 100% on migrating from 1.2 to 1.3. So there might be some issues with some of the new abilities. There might be some issues with like text not showing up the way it should on some of the soldier abilities. But the soldier trees seem to be intact. They have their new positioning on said tree, so I'll be able to show you guys that stuff, and then we'll be able to hopefully move the campaign forward. Now I did, and it's been days since I've recorded, and you guys, and anybody that's watched me for any length of time knows that I don't have the greatest memory, so I'm trying to recollect. But I did, I think, 2 missions. I just went ahead and did them. Well, let me show you. Actually, I may or may not be able to. Let me try here. Okay. All right. So this is the next mission that we have up. I did that supply run, and I think the Haven defense. I think those are the missions that I did. I was trying to clear the board before I did the 1.3 update, and I was just gonna leave like the big missions, which I almost aborted, like the network tower stuff or the. Not the network tower, what was it? See what I'm talking about with my memory? the site raids that we were going to do. I left those, the ones that took a long time to do infiltration for, I left those pending. But I was tempted to just either try to get through the missions or just abort them. And I did that with, I did abort, I think, 1 mission, and then I did 2 missions off camera, just to kind of give you an idea of where we're at in terms of the geoscape. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to be able to respec soldiers, and I wanted to be able to show the different trees, and I actually really wanted to take every mission off the board entirely when I switched to 1.3, and then sort of redo those missions with the soldiers already respec. And then I got partway through that plan and decided, I better not do that, because the timing of some of those missions, I mean, it takes a long time to do infiltration on those bigger sort of quote-unquote special missions, so I kind of backed off that idea. But that's where we're at in terms of the campaign. Okay, so we have a mission up, you saw that, and we'll do that in a second. But let's take a look at some of the soldier tree changes first. Okay, we'll just go by class. And I don't have my notes up next to me, so I'll just, again, this is going to be from my memory, which, as we know, we've established, may or may not be ideal, right? But we'll try. Okay, so assault. Soldier abilities. Let's see. Okay, so in the assault tree, none of the abilities change position, as I recall. This is one of the ones where it's all the same, but the abilities themselves are changed. So as an example, like hit and run is listed as an additional move action after a standard shot. It's actually going to be a full action after you take a flank shot. So that's changed on them. Street Sweeper has changed because it says it can't miss, but now it will be able to miss, and it does an additional 3 points of damage against unarmored targets, so that was a change as well, but the assault is primarily unchanged. Okay, let's see. Grenadier did have some interesting changes, actually. So let's see, let's go down here. You've got sting grenades and tandem warheads are on different positions than they were previously. And you can see sting grenades are further down the list. But it's kind of cool because, like, if you look at what you can take, you can end up with both tandem warheads and sting grenades now if you want. So if you make that sort of mixed grenadier, the ones that I've been making that have both offensive boom boom by taking heavy ordnance, and then also carry support grenade, so it's kind of a mix. So I kind of like this change. It gives you a little bit of flexibility. You can see here then at Gunnery Sergeant you got Volatile Mix, Bombardier, and Salvo. I think the idea here was that they were trying to make, I guess the tiers have more compelling choices. Like, what do you take from this? Like, these are all good, right? You can't take them all, so you gotta choose one. I actually think that this one, and maybe it's just because I don't see that much value in cover destruction because it hasn't been reliable up to, well, through 1.2, cover destruction was just flat out wasn't reliable. Now they've made some changes to make it more so. They've made changes to Sapper. I'm pretty sure they made changes to Combat Engineer also. But when you get to this level, Master Sergeant, because of my experience so far with Long War, I haven't been that concerned with cover destruction. So it's really between Full Kit and Ghost Grenade. And Ghost Grenade, like hiding one person, it's like, meh. So really for me, it's kind of a no-brainer that it would be Full Kit. Plus 1 charge per grenade item in a utility slot. That's pretty strong, right? But this is a compelling choice right here. Volatile Mix, Bombardier, or Salvo. And this actually is too. There's because these are all 3 really good abilities too. I think Sting Grenades is the winner, right? But still, compelling choices. I think that's what they're going for. Alright, so that's Assault and Grenadier. Let's take a look at Gunner. Okay. Now, off the top of my head, I don't remember exactly what they changed here. I don't think they changed the tree at all. They changed what some of the abilities use. And I'll do a follow-up, okay? There'll be, like, follow-up discussion about this stuff as I'm able to look at the patch notes and play around with this some more. I just thought you guys might actually want me to continue the campaign, so I haven't been able to spend a ton of time with this yet. The other thing I'm doing is I'm updating the Season 1 detail sheet. I've added an additional tab that says class builds. I think it says soldier builds or class builds 1.3, obviously for version 1.3. And I've already updated the Sharpshooter one and one other, but I'll update them all as I go forward. I just might not be able to get it done right this second because I've got some other stuff going on. I know, right? How dare I have other stuff going on besides Long War? Let's see. I think if I remember right, the big changes to the gunners from what I read was simply, again, that certain abilities require more ammo now. They buffed the Cone of Iron Curtain. They changed. Oh, I remember. They changed the aim progression. They changed the aim progression of gunners. They're not quite as good. They don't. In other words, they don't gain as much aim per promotion as they did before because they were second behind sharpshooters in terms of final aim, which was it was a little bit much. I mean, honestly, and I think I've said this before, overall, gunners are probably the most useful soldier throughout the entire campaign because they start off being valuable with area suppression, and they get good choices in terms of abilities all the way through. So they're, you know, it's not like you're hurt by taking a gunner on any mission at any stage of the campaign for the most part. So I think it was appropriate to make that change, actually. Lower their aim a little bit. Okay, so Grenadier, Gunner. They made changes to the Psi operatives. They start with 4 abilities now. And I don't know what this is. I don't know what this upgrade in mid campaign is going to do these psyops. So I don't know what to tell you. They changed the way some of the dependencies work in terms of their abilities and what they can train. They start with 4 abilities, but won't include Fortress. Can't get that as a starter anymore. They made a bunch of different changes. I'll link the, I guess, current patch notes, the unreleased patch notes from PI's forums. I'll try to remember to link that in the description of the video. You guys can check that out. Again, I'm just trying to give you a quick overview here. Okay, Rangers. Yeah, I can honestly say I do not remember what they changed here, if much at all. Okay, so let's go to one I do remember. Oh, Rogue, right. Huh. Well, I can talk to you about that later. What, Mal? What? No. Oh, I'll talk to you about it later. Sharpshooter. Okay, so let's take a look at that one. That one's I've actually studied enough. That one and the Shinobi. Let's go through those. Okay, so pretty big changes, and actually we'll end up respecking our sharpshooters. So you've got Death from Above, Rapid Targeting, Snapshot. Now you've got Damn Good Ground, Phantom, and Center Mass. So all of these are kind of shifted up, and then at the end it's still Double Tap, which they've made a change to. And sorry, there's no flavor text there. Alpha, Mike, Foxtrot, and Serial. Serial's been changed too. Every time you take a shot now, the amount of damage and crit will go down. It works basically the same way it worked in Long War 1 within the zone now. So I think the change there just amplifies the need to have some burst AoE damage, Grenadiers, and or a technical. If you're planning to use Serial effectively, you'll have to have it. Yeah. Or, you know, I guess regular fire against enemy targets, but you'll have to make sure that they're significantly wounded for Serial to be effective. Which is, I knew this change was coming. I knew this was I knew from a long time ago that they were gonna change it because it was just so good. But we'll just have to see how it plays out, if the balance is there or not. But in terms of the rest of the abilities, you've now got a choice really between Precision Shot and Lone Wolf at the Sergeant rank. I don't know how I feel about Lone Wolf being on the tier, but whatever. Then you've got at Staff Sergeant, Long Watch or Low Profile, so I'll switch my build, and I have already updated the Soldier build on the Season 1 detail sheet to include these changes. So I'm doing Death from Above, Damn Good Ground, likely to do Precision Shot, then Low Profile. Then this is a tough choice. You've got Deadeye, which is a good ability, versus Aggression. I probably Aggression would be the way to go. Then this ability, whatever. Yeah, I'm not going to try to pronounce it, and don't link the damn thing in the comments. Oh, don't do that. Don't. This is how you pronounce it. Okay, thanks. This ability is supposed to be fixed, but I honestly don't know. So then you've got Hunter's Instincts, +2 damage against flank targets. I think that's probably the way to go. And then finally you've got Double Tap, Alpha, Mike, Foxtrot, and Serial. I'll probably stick with Serial, and if for no other reason, just to see what kind of impact the changes have made to it. Okay, so let's see what else we've got. There were some spark changes made. A lot of it had to do with their health in relation to armor upgrades to the rest of the squads. In other words, it was increased, their health was increased to match armor that was available for the other soldiers, essentially. And then there were some perk changes as well. I'll just show them to you and then you can... So we've got Shredder, Iron Skin, Combat Awareness. Here. So, yeah, there you go. Go that way, buddy. Raymaker, Bulwark, Adaptive Aim. Then we've got Strike, Formidable, Cool Under Pressure, Intimidate, Repair, Guardian, Channeling Field, Wrecking Ball, Hollow Targeting, Damage Control, Bombard, Hunter Protocol, Sacrifice, Impact Fields, and Nova. They did change the base aim of them as well. So they're a little bit better shot than they were, and a couple other miscellaneous changes. Okay, Shinobi. Shinobi and Specialists have like the biggest changes. Alright, so let's take a look here at the Shinob. Okay, now again, I don't know about why, I guess just this transition from 1.2 to 1.3, so you're going to have to forgive like some of this stuff. Like we've got Whirlwind, which is a new ability, and Gunnery Sergeant, and we've got changes to Coup de Grace in Master Sergeant. So this is because I'm using, well, one, because I upgraded mid-campaign, so bear that in mind, and two, I'm on a development build, so it shouldn't look like this when you start playing 1.3, okay? So just putting that out there again, because I know people sometimes don't listen. Okay. So, I think mostly this is unchanged. The biggest thing here is tradecraft. They made... tradecraft is not going to be as effective as it was. They moved conceal to the final rank. Now, I've talked about this before, and I'll say it again, just sort of for the record. I don't like this change. And the thing for me is that I don't really understand it, because to me, once conceal is this far down the chain, it's of no value. If you can't get it relatively early or early-ish, I don't know what the deal is there. But a lot of this has to do with all of the changes that have been made to 1.3. So on one hand, I'll say I don't like this change, because if I wanted to do a stealth run, you know, then essentially my shinobis don't become valuable to me again on those types of things until like towards the end of the campaign. But they've made so many changes to the way pods generate and the number of pods and how you engage. I did stealth runs because I wanted to do as many missions as possible, and I had to do them, or at least I felt I had to do them, not so much for the rewards, but so that I could keep the avatar timer from getting out of control, right? The more missions you do, the slower avatar progress is, so I would tackle as many missions as possible, as you well know. But the reason you would do those, stealth-wise, is because either you didn't have enough soldiers, that could be part of it, or it was because you didn't have enough time to do it, right? The infiltration was just totally screwed up. So you would try to do as many as you could stealth-wise, not because you necessarily wanted to do a bunch of stealth missions. And I fall into that category. I like doing the occasional stealth mission, but I don't want to have to do every single one stealth. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen with these changes in 1.3, because now you're supposed to be able to field, say, 3 to 5 soldiers to go in and do what normally would have been in the past a quote-unquote stealth mission, but you're going to be able to actually like fight your way through instead of stealthing it and get to the objective, because timers have been increased on the majority of the missions by default, some of them significantly, and there's sort of like a soft timer now. So if you want to take, let's say a mission has 16 turns or 18 turns to complete it, that's all well and good. You can take your time, but somewhere around turn 10 or 12, you'll start getting reinforcements on those missions. Also, the pods, they've increased the number of pods and reduced the number of enemies per pod. So instead of like running into a pod that's got 4 or 5, you might run into 2 pods, 1 of 3 and another 1 of 2, or 2 of 3 each, or what have you. So there's more reasonable engagements to encourage small unit tactics. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But I'm going to maintain my position, though, that conceal all the way down here at the bottom for Shinobi is pointless. Like, it's a pointless ability. So I guess I'll be taking rapid fire, or maybe I'll be taking coup de grace. Anyway, let's talk about the new ability. So Whirlwind, well, it says Whirlwind 2. So Whirlwind is a melee attack. I'm trying to remember. I think it's a melee attack chain. Is it a chain, or is it just an extra move? I think it's kind of like implacable. I think it gives you a move after a kill or after a hit. I'm sorry, guys. I don't remember off the top of my head, and there was a lot of information to absorb. But I do remember what the changes were to coup de grace. Essentially, this is going to be like plus 50% crit, plus 50% damage, but it's no longer an insta kill. So coup de grace is not, you can't throw the sting grenade and then just go up and, like, you know, kill the guy. It doesn't work like that anymore. So I don't know, on this level, it's interesting which choice to take. I mean, I don't normally arm my shinobis with decent, you know, gun weapons, so I don't know if rapid fire is valid or not. Maybe I would stick with coup de grace. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Okay, so who else do we need to look at? Oh yes, the specialist and the technical. Alright, let's go to the specialist. Okay, so now that's pretty cool. Revival protocol is now down here. So you've got, I like these kinds of choices. You've got revival protocol, sentinel, or combat protocol. That's a compelling choice. Yep, because these are all good. I think we can agree. Suppression's not on here anymore. Yeah, they took that off. So we've got revival protocol, sentinel, combat protocol, field surgeon. Okay, now see, Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to respec all these soldiers. Yeah, because like I don't like field surgeon is not so great in Long War 2. It just doesn't seem to be to me. So on this level, I'd probably do revival protocol, then interference, because that's always good, right? And then if it's, you know, if it's a combat medic like Anne here, then I would do medical protocol. Oh, you lose Trojan, huh? Yeah. And then field medics down here, huh? Wow, really? You gotta get the staff sergeant before you get extra uses, huh? Interesting. Okay. Well, then I guess it would be field medic. She's not gonna take airdrop, right? Then we've got savior, cool under pressure, or failsafe. Probably savior. Okay, and then new ability, rescue protocol. If I remember from my reading, this is essentially like command. Actually, I don't think it's a full action. I think it's just a move. I think it's just a move. But if you've got somebody out of position and you know, you need to save them, you got to rescue them, then you can give them a move and boop, they can move on away. And I wish these abilities, like, it would appear that I'm not going to be able to use them, which is kind of unfortunate. But again, that has nothing to do with 1.3. It has to do with I migrated and might not have done the instructions the exact right way, or I'm running mods that conflicted with it, or what have you. Then yeah, I've deleted my config files and done everything I think I'm supposed to do, but yeah, it's not perfect, I guess. So, but it should work for you when you get access to 1.3. It should work for you. That's the important part, right? Okay, so you've got the new rescue protocol, threat assessment, and full override. And then finally, you've got restoration, kill zone, and capacitor discharge. This feels better balanced to me. I don't know. I mean, I haven't been a big, you know, specialist guy. Which, I don't know, maybe I'll change my tune on them. Because full override's at gunnery sarge right now. I don't know. You might be able to, like, with a combat medic, you could go revival protocol, and then interference, and then medical protocol, field medic, savior. You could do full override, and then restoration. So you've still got some sort of combat ability with full override and interference, and yet you still have all the support stuff you need. That's kind of cool. The question is, what about the Overwatch version? Yeah, Sentinel. What did you do? Sentinel covering fire? I don't know. I think I'd still go Sentinel interference, actually, truth be told. Yeah, if I was doing an Overwatch build, I'd probably do Sentinel, interference, Trojan. Yeah, ever vigilant makes sense. Then cool under pressure, then full override, and then probably capacitor discharge, actually. If I was doing that kind of a build. I don't know, it might be viable. Okay, so what else do we have here? Oh, the technical, right? Alright. I don't think any of this stuff changed. At least their trees didn't change. They did make changes to the technical. They made some improvements on some of their damage, some of the range. They made some changes to some of the abilities that added things like guaranteed panic with fire, a couple other things. But I don't remember off the top of my head, and there was a lot of stuff, so I will try to remember to link to the unreleased 1.3 patch notes from PI's forums for you. But you're smart people, you can go read that stuff. Okay, let's take a look here. Here's what we've got coming up in the... what the heck you want to call it? Event? Yeah, there you go. My brain's almost working. It's almost working. It's early in the morning when I'm doing this, so apologies. And I think instead of jumping into a mission, what I'll do is I'll release this as a operations update kind of thingy. Yeah. And then I'll also try to release a mission at the same time. Okay? Does that make sense? Is everybody cool with that? Alright, good. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this update to 1.3 and that you look forward to joining me in the next one to continue the campaign. And if so, please consider hitting that thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching. Till next time, I'm Mal, and I'll see you later.